There are artists who changed how we see art. And then there's Raphael, the one who changed how we see beauty itself. He wasn't the inventor like Leonardo da Vinci. He wasn't the rebel like Michelangelo. Raphael was the balance, the calm center of the storm that was the Renaissance. He captured grace, peace, and human warmth in ways no one ever had before. Born Raffaello Sanzio in 1483 in Urbino, Italy, Raphael grew up surrounded by art. His father, Giovanni Santi, was a painter for the Duke's court, not a master, but good enough to spark something in young Raphael. From an early age, he was surrounded by brushes, pigments, and sketches of saints and angels. When Raphael's father died, he was only 11. Most children would have been crushed, but that loss lit a quiet fire in him. He apprenticed under Pietro Perugino, a respected master whose influence can be seen in Raphael's early works. Symmetrical compositions, gentle faces, and a sense of calm perfection. But even as a teenager, Raphael started to outgrow his teacher. His eye for balance, anatomy, and expression was sharper, deeper, almost divine. The Madonna and Child series, the face of divine love. One of Raphael's earliest and most famous works is The Madonna and Child, a series he painted throughout his life. Paintings like the Madonna of the Meadow, Sistine Madonna, and the Alba Madonna became symbols of tenderness and divine serenity. In the Madonna of the Meadow, Mary sits in a peaceful landscape, gently watching over the baby Jesus and the young John the Baptist. The soft triangular composition, Mary's form creating balance and unity, became a visual metaphor for the Holy Trinity. But what made Raphael's Madonnas revolutionary was the emotion. These weren't distant, untouchable religious icons, they were human. Mary looked like a real mother, caring, gentle, full of warmth. The child wasn't painted as a divine figure glowing with power, but as a baby reaching for his mother's face. Raphael brought divine love down to earth. Then came the Sistine Madonna, one of his most celebrated works. Painted in 1512 for the Church of San Sisto in Piacenza, it's a vision of Mary floating among the clouds, holding the infant Jesus, surrounded by soft, rolling folds of drapery and two small cherubs at the bottom. You've probably seen those cherubs everywhere, from posters to memes. But in the full painting, they're just a tiny detail beneath something extraordinary. The Sistine Madonna was Raphael's declaration of divine grace, not dramatic or heavy, but ethereal and pure. It's art as serenity, the school of Athens, the perfect balance of mind and spirit. When Raphael moved to Rome, everything changed. Pope Julius II commissioned him to paint frescoes in the Vatican's Apostolic Palace, the heart of the Catholic world. And there, between 1509 and 1511, Raphael painted what is now considered one of the greatest masterpieces in history, the School of Athens. It's not a religious painting. It's a celebration of knowledge, reason, and human intellect, a visual representation of philosophy itself. In a vast architectural setting resembling a classical temple, Raphael gathered the greatest thinkers of all time. Plato and Aristotle stand in the center, walking and debating. Plato points upward, symbolizing his belief in higher forms and ideals. Aristotle gestures forward, representing logic, observation, and the physical world. Around them are Socrates, Pythagoras, Euclid, Diogenes, and many more, all absorbed in thought and teaching. What's incredible is how Raphael managed to weave harmony through chaos, every pose, every line, every gaze balanced perfectly within the space. And hidden among these figures is Raphael himself, standing quietly, looking toward us. It's as if he's reminding the viewer. Art too belongs in the realm of philosophy. Painters think just as philosophers do. That painting wasn't just decoration for a wall. It was a statement of the Renaissance spirit, that faith and reason, science and art could coexist in perfect balance. The Transfiguration, his final masterpiece. Near the end of his life, Raphael began working on what would become his final and most complex masterpiece, the Transfiguration. This painting is almost like a summary of his life's philosophy, a blend of divine power, human suffering, and transcendent light. In the upper half, Christ floats in radiant glory, transforming before his disciples a vision of the divine made visible. Below, chaos reigns. A possessed boy writhes in pain, surrounded by desperate figures pleading for help. The upper and lower halves contrast heaven and earth, divine serenity and human agony. But Raphael connects them visually with light descending from Christ down into the suffering crowd, suggesting that divinity and humanity are not separate worlds, but one continuous reality. It was Raphael's way of saying, even in darkness there is divine light. When he died in 1520, the Transfiguration was found at the foot of his bed. It was carried in his funeral procession, as if it were his soul leaving the earth. Portraits. The elegance of the human soul. Raphael was also a master of portraits. He painted people with dignity and emotion, often capturing the quiet essence of their character. His portrait of Baldassare Castiglione is a perfect example. Soft tones, direct gaze, natural posture. No arrogance, no excess, just presence. It became a model for portraiture for centuries to come, influencing artists like Rembrandt and even modern painters. Through his portraits, Raphael showed that beauty wasn't only divine, it was human. The soul itself could be painted. Architecture and modern legacy. Few people know Raphael was also an architect. He helped design St. Peter's Basilica after Bramante's death and worked on various urban planning projects in Rome. His vision was to make cities reflect the same balance and proportion as his art, structured, harmonious, and human-centered. His understanding of geometry and space influenced not just painters but architects, designers, and later the very principles of neoclassical art and modern aesthetics. In today's world of design, where symmetry, minimalism, and harmony dominate, Raphael's fingerprints are still visible. The man behind the masterpieces, Raphael wasn't known for tortured suffering or eccentric habits. People said he was warm, kind, and charming, the embodiment of grace both in art and in life. He believed that art should not only be admired but felt, that it should make people better, more compassionate, more aware of beauty and balance. His motivation wasn't fame or rivalry. It was to capture perfection, not the kind that's cold or distant, but the kind that feels alive and human. Even after 500 years, his influence remains everywhere, from the way we depict love and divinity to the harmony we seek in art, music, and design. Raphael's art reminds us of something deeply timeless, that beauty isn't chaos, it's clarity, that perfection isn't flawlessness, it's harmony, and that art, at its highest form, connects the human soul to something eternal. He lived just 37 years, but in that short time, Raphael showed the world what it means to see not just with the eyes, but with the heart.